When you register anything, anywhere, you give up title. This is rule number 5. And again, we're looking at the application for the birth certificate, because it is in that application that you declare that you've created it and that you give up title to it through registration. Application for title or registration for a vehicle works the same way, right? It is that I declare that I created it and I'm giving up title to it. But in this particular case, it's a little bit different, because in this application for title or registration, you're not starting out with an MSO unless you created it yourself or somehow got the MSO from the one that did create it. After 1991, under the Gregorian calendar, no one is allowed to even have the MSOs. They're not available to dealerships. But before that, you could have gotten an MSO or you could have made it yourself. This one starts out with you having a certificate of title, which you then give up. So you're actually giving up your copy of title in order to register it. Ask me how to register to vote. Isn't that wild? People tell you, oh, you have to vote. You have to participate in government. You have to vote. If you don't vote, you lose the right to complain. Or if you don't vote, you can't bitch, or however they go to word it, right? But what do you have to do before you can vote? You have to register. Now, if you register, what good does voting do? If you've given up your title to the vote, what's the point in voting? Well, believe it or not, you can actually go in as an elector instead of a voter, and it is possible to go in and actually contribute without having to register. But there's not much point to it, because they're either going to have you vote for Uncle Vinny or Uncle Bobby. And they're both parts of the same crime family, so there's not really much point there. And for me personally, I just steer clear of the whole thing, because it's just like Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola. I don't really care who the president of Coca-Cola is, and I don't really care about the private commerce that's going on within Coke or what the new rules are for their drivers or any of that stuff, because it doesn't have anything to do with me. And that's still rule number 5. When you register anything anywhere, you give up title. Here's classics. Summer session 2010. Math, language, arts, computer lab. Anybody ever registered for a class? maybe we should get together when we have no class, right? The bottom line is you still have to register. What are they telling you? Look, you want you to give up title before you can even come in and sit down with us. Rule number 5 continued. When you register anything, anywhere, you give up title to it. This is a Maine voter's registration application. Now, just like all other forms of application and all other forms of corporate contracting, they actually want 3 points of contact. We're going to get a little more into detail on these 3 points of contact and why it's 3 points of contact. There's a last name, a first name, and a middle name. There's 3 points of contact. There is a name, a date of birth, and a street address. There's 3 points of contact. There's the current mailing address, which may be different from the street address, and the previous registration address, so they can track that collateral real close, right?
Gold chains round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be rolling 22s, nothing to me. You're listening down with the truth, now that's something to me. Know thyself, seek and ye shall find. I tell you this now, it's in no African mind. Searching diamonds, gold, silver, platinum, them the kind of things, illusions you fathom. Yeah, they call it magic. Right, you're right, it's tragic. I know, clever what they done, fantastic. Come against me now, you end up in a straight jacket. I'll prove you illiterate. One question, the language. Now who's the pickle in the sandwich? This kind of knowledge that you're hearing will damage you, destroy you. Don't worry, I'll employ you, get you back on track, so you can defend your own attack. Gold chain round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be rolling 22s, nothing to me. Down with the truth, now that's something to me. Gold chain round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be